And this is a spiritual book. So this is very simple and easy to see. Why? Because it's teaching us how to read the Bible. And we just learned our second technique here, if you've been following the playlist. The first technique was when words are repeated at the beginning and at the end of sections or chapters or stories. The repetition lets you know that it's the end of a section or the end of a thought by repeating the beginning, but always with a twist. First of all, shouts out to Poetic J and all the other poets who may happen upon this video playlist. Today, we're going to deal with this poem in verse 27 of chapter 1 of Genesis. The poem is technically 3 statements. First, I'm going to read the entire poem. Then we're going to come back around and analyze it line by line. And it says, Genesis 1 and 27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. Okay, so the first line, so God created man in his own image. The first statement ends with the image of God, which is why it gets a comma in English, even though it's no grammar in Hebrew. Then the second statement, in the image of God created he him. The image of God statement is double. And so you know, or should come to learn, that anytime we're talking about water, the sea, or repetition, I'm in my bag in the Bible. So the repetition is important. Why? One reason is so that you will notice that the second statement now goes in reverse order of the first statement. The first statement ended with the image of God. Second statement began with the image of God. The beginning of the statement was God created man, and the second statement, God created him. And this is not just to be cool and artsy. This is to let you know that the word man in the first statement both mean the same thing. And the way we know that is because in the second line, the reverse order matches the word man with him. The slot then obviously matches him with the man that was created, male and female. And that's how we know, that's how an ancient person would know that the species of man is one. We call it human, but of what does man consist of? It is 2. Male and female. Let me try to say it one more time with less words in case I was unclear, went over somebody's head. In this poem, the second line just takes the words of the first line, puts them in a different order in order to prepare us for the parallel statement in the third line, which matches the word order. So why is this important, Brother Nicodemus? This is unpacking the meaning of the image, that there is one that becomes 2. And then later in the story, the 2 become 1, making us altogether different than the other creatures in the creation. And you might say, well, this is obvious. Duh, this is simple. And my reply to you is, of course it's simple, son. My daughter, that is literally the point here. We are still in the first chapter on the first page. And this is a spiritual book. So this is very simple and easy to see. Why? Because it's teaching us how to read the Bible. And we just learned our second technique here, if you've been following the playlist. The first technique was when words are repeated at the beginning and at the end of sections or chapters or stories. The repetition lets you know that it's the end of a section or the end of a thought by repeating the beginning, but always with a twist. And that's still chapter 1. Today in chapter 1, we are learning that they can repeat a line and not just repeat it, but sometimes invert the sentence. But we're going to find out later all kind of creative things they can do with the repetition. And again, the point is to find and then fill these slots like we have done here. The image, male and female and man, and how they match according to what's written, though, in order to illuminate what the author has highlighted as important, obviously important. So welcome to Hebrew poetry. It feels like sometimes it's needlessly repetitious, but it's always strategic. And you're looking at the same idea through many angles. In contrast to us English-speaking British Americans, where we might be compelled to express an important point by giving a summary expressed in a logical statement. In ancient times and during the antiquities, you would just repeat it, but always with a little difference to help you think of it from a new perspective. Hated him. Hey, sorry for the abrupt ending and technical difficulties. Check us out next week for the conclusion of what the poem about the image of God is trying to teach us and how it's trying to shape us. Shout out to all the Bible nerds and Bible geeks who even care about such things. Lord willing. But until then, we up.